In the morning before school, Lucas's footsteps echo past an open classroom door.
Mr. Thomas, you're here early.
Oh, morning, Mr. Cooper. Yeah, Principal Flores asked me to record a PA message about the bear attack.
Mr. Cooper stares at Lucas from behind his desk for an uncomfortable length of time. He hovers in the doorway, fidgeting.
So, is there something you wanted, or...?
Mr. Cooper bounces his leg as if mulling something over, then nods.
As a matter of fact, yes, there is. Please step inside.
Lucas inches into the classroom, swallowing nervously.
Have you thought about what I said on Monday?
You mean about me having extracurriculars?
Lucas, come on. You know it's not about you having extracurriculars. It's about the amounts.
Mr. Cooper, I'm fine. But thank you. I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. I did just as much last year and my grades never slipped or...
That's just it. Your grades are fantastic. You show up to class early, and you turn in every assignment on time. You do extra credit, you tutor, you ace every essay and exam, and all that on top of your student council duties.
What? Are you saying I'm too good a student?
What concerns me is the recent change in your behavior.
My behavior?
Lucas swallows again, his mouth feeling suddenly dry.
Tell me, are you having trouble sleeping lately?
Lucas's mind races, generating 1,000 possible excuses as he shifts restlessly from foot to foot.
Perhaps feeling sudden bouts of anxiety?
Lucas's pulse pounds in his ears and his hands shake.
Or unsteady hands?
Lucas stuffs his hands in his pockets, forcing himself to hold Mr. Cooper's gaze.
I've seen this before. I've seen bright students let their ambition outpace their time and energy, and when those students find themselves overwhelmed, I've seen them turn to certain study aids. Lucas, have you been taking anything to help yourself focus? Maybe get a bit of an edge over the other students.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The lights flicker as Mr. Cooper looks at Lucas, frowning as he taps his finger on the surface of his desk.
If that's the case, you won't mind if I set a meeting with your parents and the principal. This is a very serious matter, Lucas. If we find evidence of wrongdoing, it's may grounds for suspension.
Suspension? I can't have that on my record!
Mr. Cooper uncaps a pen and reaches for his desk drawer.
It will all go on your record. Every detail, for every university and prospective employer to see. I'm sorry, Lucas, but this is a necessary evil. Someday, you'll understand that I did this for your own good.
Still looking at Lucas, Mr. Cooper opens his desk drawer, and Lucas sees something dark writhing inside, coiling to spring.
Mr. Cooper, look out!
Mr. Cooper looks down at his desk drawer, his eyes widening with fear, and lunges out from inside. Ah! He trips over his chair, tumbling, scrambling backwards as it comes for him. Get it off me! Hissing, slithering, bone-white fangs bared. The snake strikes!
Mr. Cooper!
Lucas snatches a broom from the corner and swats the snake across the classroom.
Get away from him! Mr. Cooper! Are you okay?
Bit me on my chest. I need the doctor.
Mr. Cooper's eyes roll back in his head and he falls unconscious. A flicker of movement catches Lucas's eye as the glistening body of the snake vanishes through the open door. few hours earlier. Wednesday morning, Natasha's leaving for school when she hears an odd sound coming from her shed.
Hilda? Is that you again?
Cautiously, Natasha creeps forward and presses her ear against the door. A series of muffled rattles, squeaks, and thumps comes from inside.
Please, be a rat, and not a monster.
Steeling herself, Natasha counts to 3, then shoves open the door. Stopping in her tracks, she stares down at the little angry bundle of feathers on the work table.
Wait a second.
Natasha takes a few steps closer, and the tiny crow hops backward, one of its wings dragging awkwardly.
It's that crow Jocelyn smacked. How did it get in here?
Slowly, Natasha takes another step forward, holding out her hand. The crow puffs up his feathers, glaring at her suspiciously.
It's okay, little buddy.
Digging in her school bag, Natasha finds a little bag of trail mix.
Hungry?
Cautiously, the bird hops forward and snatches a peanut out of Natasha's hand. The little crow cocks his head at Natasha, ruffling his feathers. Then, as if making up his mind, he hops forward into the palm of her hand.
Looks like we got a new friend, Hilda.
Hilda gets up from her bed, padding over to examine the tiny ball of feathers in her hands.
Careful, he's just a baby.
Hilda gently touches the baby crow with her snout, sniffing it with intense interest. The crow puffs up his feathers, pecking her on the nose. Hilda sneezes. Laughing, Natasha ruffles her ears.
It's okay, girl. I'm sure he didn't mean it.
After examining the crow's wing, Natasha gently sets him into a nest she's made on top of the dusty filing cabinet.
There we go. You should be nice and safe up there. I should give you a name, huh? How about Daffy? You like it? Good.
As Natasha turns to leave, Natasha notices a crumpled piece of paper on the table, right where Daffy had been sitting.
Did you bring this here, Daffy?
Natasha gently smooths out the crumpled paper and starts to read.
Dear E.B., I write to you from the car of a train bound over the Rockies. A feat of modernity so spectacular, in fact, I reel to conceive of it. Alas, my mind is preoccupied by my destination. One Westchester, Oregon, and the curious package that started me on this expedition when it appeared on my university's inbox. A photograph of dark trees and an inhuman silhouette with 5 hastily scribbled out words. It lives in the woods. The other faculty and your father think me mad to chase such nonsense. Perhaps they are right. Perhaps they have always been right. Or perhaps this time, I shall prove them all wrong.
1871? Where the hell did Daffy find this?
Daffy tilts his head at Natasha, then starts preening his feathers.
Well, I guess it'd be weirder if you did answer. Be good. I'll check in on you after the game.
Daffy settles happily into his new nest, and Natasha leaves for school. After school, Natasha joins the crowd heading to watch their team play in the first basketball game of the season. Natasha finds Stacy outside the front doors with the rest of the cheer squad.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Natasha. Excited to watch the Westchester Wolves totally destroy the Anderton Cougars?
You know it. We're gonna crush them. It's weird because 90% of the time I really hate this school, but right now...
You kinda want to find someone from Anderton High and tell them how our school is 10 times better than their dumb school?
Yeah, kinda. Is that weird?
No, just means I'm doing my job.
Have you seen Andy at all today? How's he doing?
Based on his face during warm-ups, he's running on like 70% excitement and 30% pure terror.
Jeez, he's probably feeling a lot of pressure right now, stepping for Ben.
What happened to Ben was so freaky. How did Bear just wander onto campus? Oh my god, and did you hear about Mr. Cooper?
The snake? Yeah, everyone's been talking about it.
You don't think... could they be related? Like, what are the odds of 2 crazy animal attacks happening within 24 hours?
Technically, there were 3.
Natasha tells Stacy about the crows that went after Cody and Jocelyn the day before. Stacy stares at Natasha, her brows furrowing.
This can't be a coincidence, right? It's got to be Mr.
Stace, come on! The game's about to start!
I'll be there in a minute.
Okay, be late if you want, but Coach Tanner told me to tell you that you're on thin ice.
Britney skips away and Stacy stares after her, chewing anxiously on her lower lip.
It's okay. We can talk tomorrow.
With a grateful nod, Stacy hurries toward the gym. Natasha starts to follow, but her instinct of danger rises up and she quickly turns her back and steps back.
Hey, Natasha. Long time no see.
Not long enough.
She doesn't realize at the moment and someone grabs her from behind.
Don't be like that! We missed you!
Natasha tries to move away, but Cody and Jocelyn hold on to her tight. Dark scratches cover their arms and faces, and hate burning in their eyes.
Hey! Let go!
But we wanna sit by you during the game. We can do the wave.
Or talk about what you did to my car.
Cody's grip tightens painfully, and Natasha's stomach fills with dread.
How do I get them to leave me alone? Hey! Check out all those crows.
Cody jerks his hand away, looking around.
Crows?
Grinning, Natasha nods to a nearby tree, which is dotted with dozens of feathered black silhouettes.
Kinda creepy, right? It's like they're watching us.
Jocelyn lets go of Natasha's other arm, scratching nervously at the claw marks that mar the backs of her hands.
I have to go over there.
She turns, hurrying away with Cody right behind her. In their rush, they almost run into Connor as he walks over from the parking lot.
Where are those two heading off in such a hurry?
Who cares, as long as it's away from here?
I'm sensing that you guys aren't exactly friends.
Wow, what gave it away?
Connor smirks and the two of them walk through the doors of the gym. Natasha and Connor find their seats among the crowd of rowdy Westchester High fans.
So what happened to those two? Looks like they both took a bag of angry cats to the face.
Crows, actually. I think they're still a little freaked out about it.
This whole place seems a little freaked out, if you ask me.
What do you mean?
Dunno. Just getting a weird vibe. Like something's wrong and no one wants to admit it.
Natasha does her best to suppress a shiver, glancing up at Connor. He doesn't seem to have noticed.
So, Connor, do you come to all games?
I try to come to one or two whenever I'm in town. Cheer for Stace. Maybe say hi to my old shop teacher while I'm at it. It's also pretty much the only thing to do around here.
That's harsh, and also 100% true.
At the base of the bleachers, Natasha spots Stacy standing with the rest of the cheer squad. Connor waves and she smiles, sticking out her tongue at him.
Brat.
You guys are adorable.
We try. Looks like the game's about to start.
Down on the court, the two teams get into position for the jump ball. And their team takes possession.
Yeah! Go Wolves!
The Westchester player drives down the court, but is soon trapped by an Anderton High defender.
Drew, over here!
The guy looks at Andy, then away. He tries to get past the defender, but ends up losing the ball.
What? Are you kidding me?
What the hell? Andy was wide open!
The Cougars score an easy basket, and the ball returns to their team. But once again...
Is it just me, or is nobody passing to your buddy down there?
It's definitely not you.
By the middle of the second quarter, the Wolves are down by 10 points.
Boo! Someone score already!
Come on, Wolves! You can do it!
This blows.
Natasha watches Andy get madder and madder as his team still refuses to pass to him. His friend Tom watches from the bench, shoulders slumped.
believe this. I'm about to go down there and punch someone.
You're not the only one. Andy looks about ready to lose it.
On the court, Andy gets into a defensive stance, tracking the ball with the intensity of a shark, his face flushed with anger.
Come on. Come on!
One of the Anderton players makes a cross-court pass, and Andy springs up, snatching the ball out of the air.
Ha!
Yes! Go, Andy, go!
Andy heads for the three-point line, defenders scrambling to catch up. He shoots, just as an Anderton player slams into him from the side. Andy stumbles, nearly falling, but the ball swishes through the basket.
Woo!
Cheers erupt from the bleachers as the ref awards Andy a free throw, which he sinks easily.
Score!
The crowd roars. Overcome with excitement, Natasha jumps to her feet.
Hell yeah, Andy! You're the best!
Andy looks up at Natasha in the bleachers. Grinning, he pumps his fist in the air.
Yes! Hell yeah!
The ref signals halftime. Andy follows the rest of the team off the court as the cheer squad jumps up to do their routine.
Come on, Wolves! Let's hear you howl!
Woo!
As the cheerleaders start their routine, Natasha notices Connor frowning slightly.
What's up?
Stacy seem off her game to you?
Connor nods towards Stacy, who dances clumsily at the back of the formation.
Stacy hasn't told him about the blackmail. Maybe there's something going on with her.
Must be. Stace wouldn't let any old stress interfere with her cheerleading. Gymnastics, dance, cheer. Performing was always the one thing that helped her escape from whatever other crap she was dealing with.
Crap like your parents?
Connor sighs, tapping his foot on the bleachers.
Yeah, I gave up on my folks a long time ago. To me, they're just a couple of unpleasant strangers who happen to live with my sister. But Stace, I don't think she could ever cut them out like that. She's too good a person.
And you're not a good person?
Not too good.
The routine ends and the second half of the game begins. During the third quarter, Andy sinks basket after basket. By the middle of the fourth quarter, the Wolves are only down by 1 point.
Holy crap!
Huh! We might actually win this!
The cheering from her side of the bleachers gets louder and louder as Tom grabs a rebound and starts dribbling up the court.
Woo! Get him, Wolves!
Tom stops, blocked by an Anderton defender. He spins, looking for an opening.
Andy!
He passes the ball. With seconds left on the clock, Andy pivots. He shoots.
Come on!
Come on!
And the ball drops straight into the basket.
Boom!
The crowd roars, surging to their feet. Everyone rushes onto the court as a chant begins to rise over the noise.
Woohoo!
Laughing, Natasha joins the group hug rapidly forming around Andy.
We're number 1! And also, long live King King!
My first world decree is for everyone to party!
You were incredible out there, Andy. I always knew you were the star of this team.
Yeah, thanks, Natasha. I can't believe this is finally happening. I knew that if they just gave me a chance.
Tom pushes his way through the tight knot of people.
Come on, Andy, we've got to hit the showers. Coach has taken the whole team out to dinner to celebrate.
Hey, you should come too, Natasha. You know what? Dessert's on me. King Kang is feeling generous.
I might take you up on that.
Natasha follows the rest of the team to the locker room, and she looks around until she spots Connor over by the doors.
Hey, you heading out?
Soon, yeah. Gonna see if I can talk to Stacy for a minute first. You want to ride home?
Maybe. I might be going to the diner with Andy and the team.
I could run you over there, or pick you up after, if you want. Just let me know. It's a nice drive this time of night.
Natasha hands Connor her phone, and he enters his number. He smiles, waving as he wanders through the crowd towards Stacy. Outside, Natasha watches the crowd dispersing to their cars, chatting excitedly about the game.
What should I do first tonight?
Natasha steps into the diner and takes a look around. It's mostly empty, apart from a rowdy table in the back where the basketball players sit.
Natasha, over here.
Andy grins at Natasha, scooting closer to Tom and patting the empty seat next to him. She smiles and slides into the booth.
Hey, Andy. Tom.
Hey, Natasha.
I'm really glad you made it. Took you long enough. I didn't think you'd show.
And miss out on this riotous display of broness? Never.
Natasha clears her throat, holding her hand out to him like a microphone.
You just led the wolves to victory. How does it feel to be on top?
Andy grins sheepishly, his ears reddening a bit.
Oh, come on, Natasha. It was one game. The whole team really came together.
You're so full of crap. My man Andy here is what carried us to victory.
Tom looks out over the rest of the team and starts rhythmically banging his fists on the table.
King Kang, King Kang, King Kang.
The rest of the team picks up the chant as well, even Natasha. Andy gives Tom a grin and a playful nudge in the ribs, and Tom leaves to chat with some of his other teammates.
You're really close, huh?
Me and Tom? Yeah, we're pretty tight. I knew him before I met you even. He's my oldest friend.
I can tell. It's obvious you two have each other's back.
Yeah, when I first started on the team, it was kind of hard, I guess. But at least I always knew Tom was gonna be there too. It made things a bit easier.
How do you guys meet?
Our parents are friends from college. We've been hanging around each other since we were in diapers.
I'm going to need to see baby pics for evidence.
Evidence of what? Our friendship?
That and also just, oh, tiny little baby Andy.
Pretty sure my mom's already shown you all the embarrassing baby photos. We used to be friends, remember?
We're friends now too, right?
Andy looks into Natasha's eyes, smiling softly.
Yeah, of course we are.
Good, I'm glad.
Just then, the waitress comes by, asking if anyone would like some dessert.
Oh yeah, what do you think, Natasha? I did promise you dessert.
How about a slice of Black Forest cake?
Black Forest cake? Haven't you had enough of spooky tree-themed things for a while?
Not when there's chocolate involved.
He places the order and, after a little while, the waitress places a gigantic slice of cake in front of them.
Oh God, look at this thing. I can already feel the cavities.
You're gonna share, right?
Share? I thought this was a thank you gift. No take backs.
Andy picks up his fork and tries to stab at the cake, but Natasha fends him off with her own fork.
On guard! I will have that cake if it's the last thing I do!
Have a tea, cake thief.
They both laugh, fencing over the cake until Andy throws up his hands in defeat.
Natasha, you're a pretty amazing person. You know that? I'm really glad you're back in my life.
Yeah, me too.
Heads up, guys. Samson swears he can eat this cheeseburger in one bite, and we gotta clear a barf zone.
Their laughter fills the diner, lasting long into the night. Next, Natasha texts Connor, and a few minutes later, she's sitting in his passenger seat while blues plays softly on the radio.
So, do you think...
What have you been?
They both laugh as they stop themselves from talking over one another.
Did, you get a chance to talk to Stacy?
I did, yeah. She didn't tell me what was up, but she was pretty excited about the game. I'm glad you guys are hanging out again. I can tell it makes her happy.
I'm glad to. I don't know if it'll stick, but it's been nice having everyone together. It's been kind of lonely without everyone.
I could see that. You guys were inseparable back in the day.
Connor leans over to turn the radio down so that it's only a faint whisper in the background.
So, how's life today? Sounds like things have been pretty crazy over at the high school.
Yeah, things have been, complicated.
Natasha trails off, staring out the front window. Connor glances at her, one eyebrow raised, but he doesn't pry.
What about you? What's your plan for the future?
I'm not sure, actually. Got a few things I enjoy doing, but I'm not sure if there's one thing I'm ready to do forever.
Doesn't that scare you? Not having anything nailed down?
It's actually pretty awesome. Plus, it gives me more time to experiment. I like to consider myself kind of an artist.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What kind?
I'll try anything, but mostly sculpture. Learned how to weld this summer, and I've been trying my hand at scrap metal art.
Connor glances over his shoulder, smiling to himself as he goes to make a left turn.
I really just love working with my hands. There's nothing like it.
I wish I was that passionate about something. Every class just feels like a never-ending snooze fest, and after-school clubs feel like a waste of me time.
Hey, it's no big deal if you don't have it all figured out just yet. I tried out a lot of things before I discovered sculpture. Graphic design, programming, ultimate frisbee. One of those things is significantly less impressive than the others.
He smirks at Natasha, meeting her eyes for a moment before turning back to the road.
My point is, you've got all the time in the world to find your passion. I'm 100% confident that you'll figure it out.
You're pretty into this whole I'm so much older and wiser than you shtick, aren't you? You're only 2 years older than me.
I know. Honestly, Stacy always gets pissed when I tease her about still being in high school.
Best brother ever.
Seriously though, you're gonna be fine. If a screw-up like me can get by in the real world, then you're going to take it by storm.
Thanks, Connor. I really appreciate that.
They reach their destination and Connor pulls the car over.
Thanks again for the ride. It was really nice. Also informative.
Next time, let's talk about you. I'm feeling a little exposed.
He feigns embarrassment, covering his face with his hands, and Natasha laughs.
Next time, huh?
Anytime you need a ride, Natasha, you know where to find me.
I guess I do.
Natasha gets out of the car and waves goodbye to Connor as he drives off into the night. As soon as Natasha gets home, she stops by the shed to check on Daffy.
Hey, bud. How's it? Yeah!
Natasha jumps as Daffy flies out of the rafters, landing on top of her head.
Well, seems like someone's feeling better already.
He flutters back to his nest and starts prodding something with his beak. Curious, Natasha stands on her toes to look.
Another letter?
Natasha reaches out to take the letter, but Daffy puffs up his feathers, squawking angrily.
Hey, that might be important.
Natasha crosses her arms, glaring at the little crow.
Maybe if I distract him with something. Hey, Daffy, look what I got.
Natasha pulls a piece of leftover granola from her lunch bag, waving it invitingly. Daffy flutters over to perch on her hands. While he busily pecks at the treat, Natasha extracts the letter from his nest and begins to read.
Dear Evie, do you recall our endless discussions beneath the old oak tree? As I settle in Westchester, your words echo in my ears, speaking of reality and ritual, known and unknown, and the ancient wilderness that lives in between. I confess, I am bewitched by this somnambulant woodland town, but there is a fog here, Evie. The gradual tension of boundaries ill-defined and shifting. Every soul in Westchester seems to acknowledge it, but none dare speak its name. A dark current courses beneath this town. I mean to trace that current to its headwaters, and then chart them for all the world to see.
Why does this sound so familiar?
Shaking her head, Natasha pins the letter up next to the first one, then turns to head back to the house. Later that night, after the game, Stacy lingers in front of the locker room mirror, staring at her own reflection.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Stacy sighs, rubbing her temples, then flinches as Britney drops her purse heavily on the counter next to her.
Jumpy much? Guess I'd be on the edge too if I just made an ass of myself in front of the whole school.
Stacy glares at Britney, hands balling into fists.
You know what, Britney? Get away from me!
Excuse me?
You heard me. Why did you go back to whatever hell dimension you backhand sprang out of?
Rage twists Britney's delicate face into a snarl. Then, a moment later, she smiles.
Wow, I really thought you'd have learned by now. But I guess you really are as dumb as you look.
Stacy opens her mouth to reply, but freezes as Britney pulls out her phone. After a few quick taps, Britney shows Stacy the draft of an Instagram post, her own tearful face framed above a dozen hashtags.
Aw, look how sad you are. I tried to pick a thumbnail where you could really see the snot.
Britney!
You know, Stace, I super appreciate everything you've done for me, but I feel like it's time to take our friendship to the next level. Your parents are gonna be out of town soon, right? For that convention or whatever? You know what that means. Party at Stacy's house!
Britney, no! Mom would kill me!
Yeah, but what would she do if...
Britney's manicured thumb hovers over the submit button.
Britney, you don't want to do this!
I kinda do, actually. I post this. Your mom grounds you forever. I get to be cheer captain, plus so many Instagram likes. Really, it's up to you to give me a reason not to post it.
Okay.
Britney grins, throwing her bag over her shoulder as she heads for the door.
Yay! I'll let you know when I've worked out all the details. Bye!
As the door clangs shut behind her, Stacy finally lets the tears spill out.
What am I going to do?
Suddenly, a shrill scream rends the air, echoing around the locker room.
Britney!
Stacy dashes out of the locker room and out the front of the school, pulling up short as she sees...
Oh my god!
Stacy! Stacy! Do something!
The plant creature lunges forward. It snaps its teeth around Britney's bag, tearing it away from her.
Britney, run!
Britney sprints to her car with the creature right on her heels. She dives in, pulling the door shut just before it can leap inside with her. Stacy rushes over as the creature slams against the car door, crumbling metal and cracking glass. Britney screams, tears streaming down her cheeks.
Britney! Oh, go get help!
What? That could take forever!
You have a better idea?
Stacy! Please! Don't leave me!
Grabbing the tiny can of mace from her keychain, Stacy edges toward the creature. The thing on Britney's car stiffens, whirling around to face her.
Good treat thing? Just leave her alone.
The creature takes a step towards Stacy, and then another. Stacy flinches away, squeezing her eyes shut.
God. Oh God, here it comes.
Stacy slowly opens her eyes. The creature stands in front of Stacy with Britney's purse clenched in its jaws. If she didn't know any better, she'd think it was smiling.
Good plant thing?
It jerks its head, tossing Britney's purse at her feet, contents spilling out onto the sidewalk.
What the hell?
The creature turns to look at Britney, then back to Stacy, then at the ground. She looks down and sees Britney's phone lying at her feet.
What in the... is this thing?
The creature gives Stacy a skeletal grin, then lopes past her, vanishing into the trees.
Britney, are you okay?
Britney glares out through the cracked window, her face red with fury.
Was this some kind of sick prank? Did you, dress up some filthy stray dog just to mess with me? Look at my car! Oh, I cannot wait to see what happens when I post that video of you! I bet money on boarding school!
Slowly, Stacy crouches down to pick up Britney's phone.
What? This video?
Stacy holds up the phone screen to show her, right before she hits delete.
No!
I think yes. Looks like you're out of...
Britney's phone pings as a text comes in. Without thinking, she clicks the pop-up and opens a message chain.
Holy crap, Britney!
Stacy scans down Britney's messages, mouth hanging open in shock as Britney struggles to open her mangled car door.
Stace, seriously, don't!
Sorry, what were you saying? I didn't hear over the sound of you trash talking literally every single one of your friends.
Listen, Stacy, I was kidding before. You know, I really wasn't ever gonna post that video. I never.
Never what? Humiliate me? Exploit me for shopping money? Make me jeopardize my spot in the squad just so you'd look good?
For the first time since Stacy's known her, Britney looks truly terrified. She kicks her purse toward the car, but she keeps her phone.
Stacy, please, if the girls knew.
If they totally hate you, don't worry. I know what it's like to be afraid all the time. I'd hate for you to feel that way. You know what? I suddenly do feel like having a party. But I think we should have it at your house.
But...
Stacy turns on her heels and walks away, smiling as she tucks Britney's phone safely into her pocket.
I'll let you know when I've worked out all the details. Bye!